Hello guys, and welcome to another replay analysis with Dingles and Daddy. This is going to be a TvZ of the ages. This is platinum level StarCraft. We're going to be watching this from the Terran's perspective. We're going to see what he does right, what he does wrong, help him out, help him figure things out in possibly a better way. And we'll really break it down. It's definitely going to I'm probably going to focus a lot on the macro side of things, just because this is plat, and that generally is a common problem of plat and below, is heavy macro mistakes. So we'll see what's going on in this game. I don't know what style it's going to be yet. It's okay. We can figure it out though. I can kind of deduce what you're going to do with what you build. But yeah, let's see it, boys. This SCV, what the hell is he doing? Did you type a lot? You typed GLHF twice. This SCV definitely, you're missing out a depot. This is already kind of a big deal. Everything's delayed now by probably an extra like 6 seconds. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You're going to supply block now, and you're also going to have a delayed barracks and also everything else. This SCV is way too early to go scout. Way too early. I would prefer, this is what I would prefer you to do. I would actually prefer you to build the barracks, like literally build the barracks. And if you were really, really, really paranoid, I would be like, it's okay that you build the barracks and then scout with the SCV that built the barracks, to have that SCV then build it and then go. Or you could build the barracks and the next SCV that starts, so this SCV in the command center right now would be the one that would finish and go scout. This scout is way too fucking fast. If you saw a 12 pool, for instance, you would be getting into his base, you would see no natural, and you would see a spawning pool that would be like 80% of the way done. And that would be your SCV scout here, or like 75% of the way done on a spawning pool. It would be super early. And all you got to do, all you have to do, we'll see what you open with in a second here. Well, let's see. Let's find out in a second. I'm gonna watch what you scout and how you react and what your build order is before we really talk about shit. It looks like you're gonna go Reaper, but we'll see. We shall see. Okay, so this is an early pool and a gas. Now, what do you do with this barracks? I'm gonna speed it up just to see what you do. You make a Reaper. Okay, so that's what I thought you were probably gonna do. Reaper builds go like this, okay? If your SCV got to right here, right now, and you see a natural that is not like halfway or more than done, okay? Some maps change the distance of how far you have to travel. Other maps are different. Like, not every map is roughly the same, but sometimes it's a little bit further, sometimes it's a little bit shorter. But if you do not see a natural that is like halfway done already, it means he did not go hatch first. If you scout with the SCV right after the barracks, like the natural should be literally like almost about to finish. Actually, it should be like 80% of the way done if it was hatch first. However, if you see a hatchery that's like just started or still not there at all with your SCV scout, that would happen later. Leave the Reaper defensive. Just leave the Reaper defensive, and you can, if you want to, you can use that SCV to scout further into his base and look at his gas. You can see, is he going for like a Bane bust? Is he going for a Roach all in? Whatever, anything like that. But just leave the Reaper in defensive. That's all it is. If there is a natural and it looks standard, you could send the Reaper out aggressive, and then that's fine, because you don't have to worry about the fact that you're about to get all in by some or attacked by some weird shit. This scout's just way too early, and think about it like this: every second in the game that early on matters a lot, especially when you get all in. And the fact that you're delaying your supply depot by like 6 seconds, that's huge at slowing you down. And the fact that you're ripping off an SCV really early. It was like your 13th SCV or something. You pulled it off to go scout. And this thing could have been mining the whole time. This could have already given you, it's already been on the map for like 40 seconds. This could have been an extra like 40 minerals for you. Because it could mine literally 1 mineral per second, roughly. So this is a lot of money you're missing out on as well to scout this early. And like, it's probably going to stick around his base for a long time, I imagine. Like, you're going to probably freak out a little bit, be like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay, now you go back. And now your Reaper, what does it do? I hope it stays defensive. If it goes on attacks, this is bad. Doesn't need to do that. Should not go attack with this Reaper. So you got zoned out by a queen, and now your base is getting fucked. So when you know someone is doing a build like this, your Reaper should just stay defensive. Just in general, especially for Platinum. I would just say defense. Play defensive. Leave the Reaper behind the wall. Make a Marine even. Who gives, like, it would be fine. You should have the idea that you wall off your base like you did, but you left it down. That's bad. But the Reaper should definitely not be across the map right now. This thing has no purpose being over there, because the chances of you killing drones right now is very fucking low. And the chances of you taking damage are now going to go way up if you're not paying attention, which is exactly what just happened to you here. I think you lowered the depot to let your SCV in, and that is going to net you a loss of like probably 3 or 4 SCVs. Like, I imagine you lowered it to let your SCV come inside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Wait, did you panic, raise, and lower it again? Is that what just happened? I sneezed.
Oh, yeah.
You did. Okay. So, yeah. You left it down, I imagine, to let your SCV come back in, but then that happened. So this is already way worse than the Reaper, even if it got like 1 drone kill. Way worse. This is way worse. This is not going to make you pull off the mineral line. You might lose more than that, more than just 1 SCV. It's just annoying for you. So, and also keep in mind, if you go scout with an SCV that's like right after the barracks is done, you would be able to also, yeah, you would just have the incentive to be like, okay, it's not an all-in, or it's not a hatch first. I'm going to keep the Reaper defensive, and then your Reaper could deal with this easy peasy all day. That's all it would be. The Reaper not being here is a problem. Now he kills the SCV, he delays your expansion. He kills 2 oh shit! 2 SCVs die. And then now you're also losing a fuckload of mining time. The whole time as well. This is unfortunate. And if you just had the Reaper here the whole time, you would have had nothing happen like this. Also, I don't know if you actually wanted to go for a reactored barracks and a tech lab factory. I imagine you probably wanted to go for a reactored factory, because this is why the hell would you ever go for 1-1 tank marine all right off the bat? Like, it doesn't make any sense. This is a horrible build. It makes way more sense to go for a reactored Hellion, so I imagine that's what you wanted to do, but you felt forced to make marines, which further fucks your build. So just know, if you see 1 base aggression, just leave the Reaper defensive. You don't always have to attack the Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
So you are going Marine tank now. And this makes no sense, only because defensive tanks are not bad, but you're going to have such a delay anyways on your stim pack. Like, this timing is not going to hit for a while, and this is just expensive for you right now. Like, it's just kind of out of order. Like, getting a little bit more economy before you commit to something like this is better.
I guess you're just what I needed. I needed someone to feed.
Oh, God. Okay. Yo, thank you for the bits. Much love, boys. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate you guys. That was definitely a mistake. I honestly would have said you would have had a better chance to defend that if you didn't actually siege your tank. So there's 2 ways you could have microed this. 2 ways. Number 1, right now, you don't move your Marines out. You do not move your Marines out, and you siege your tank first, and then you move your units out. That's number 1. Because then you get shots off on the tank, like 1 or 2 shots off on the tank before the lings even connect to the Marines. That's one way to do it. And you would have a lot less lings to have your Marines have to clean up. The second way you do this is if you move out with everything like this all at once, you just move out with the tank and the Marines together, and you do not siege it against pure Zergling like this. Because if you siege your tank now, as the lings don't get shot at, and they get on top of your Marines, all that's going to happen is your tank is going to splash the shit out of your Marines as well. Which is exactly what happens. Which is why some of his lings actually live here, and all of your Marines die. Like, this tank should have been sieged. If you're going to siege it, it should have been sieged before you left your base with the Marines. So that every second that goes by, you're shooting him like that when he's not actually on your Marines yet. Like, this tank has done more friendly fire damage probably than enemy damage up to this point. Like, it's crazy. Okay, well now this is working in your favor that he's going to commit to roaches and ravagers, and you have tanks now. That's not bad anymore. I would say now the fact that you are going double reactor marines in a tank, it's not great, but it's not horrible either. Like, tanks are going to do very well here. But you definitely want to make this build better. You have two choices right now, and you've already kind of committed to one of the choices. Because to be fair, you cannot go for a third Rax before a third command center if you're going to play defensive. This is way too fucking invested into defense, and everything is slow for you right now. So your choices would have been something like this: open up with a cheaper composition that is more economical. Maybe make a bunker instead of a tank, and you're going to go with like Hylian Marine or some shit like that. And then you would have focused on the Hylians specifically out of your reactor. But since you went for Marine tank, you honestly should have gone for like 2 racks factory, and it should have been 1 tech lab barracks, 1 reactor barracks, and you got like stim pack, and then you can go into like, you know, an upgrade timing if you want to do that while taking a 3rd base. But now that you've chosen to go for a 3rd racks, you have to also add in a starport, which you did, to make this effective at all. And now you have extra production facilities that you physically cannot afford. So if you take a 3rd command center now behind this is way too many production facilities, way too fast. You should be taking more production facilities after, like besides 2-on-1, 2 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport. You could go into more production after you commit to a 3rd. Make the 3rd command center. All that's going to happen now is if you don't commit to a timing off of having 3 racks and a factory and a starport, if you don't commit to a timing now, I don't, like, the build makes no sense then, because it's so heavily invested into unit production so early. And then if you just sit there defensively to make economy, you just made it out of order. You could have had a 3rd command center way faster. So it makes, again, it's not a great build to do defensively if you're going to make this much production this fast. I don't like the factory marine opener that much, but it worked out for you with what he's doing. But the thing so that's fine. So it ended up working out because his build is actually being countered by your build, so it's okay. I don't actually mind the fact that you went marine tank. I really don't like the fact that you're making more racks though before a 3rd command center. That's the whole point I'm trying to make here. If you don't do a timing attack and you make this, it's incorrect. If you do a timing attack with this, then it's okay. All this is an overreaction if this is for defense. See, like, you're fine. This barracks hasn't even done anything yet, and you just crushed the attack. Your build is actually countering your opponents really hard, because Roach Ravager sucks ass against Marine Tank. You should also really very, very much start building your supply depots instead of back here. Build them right here. And you should have like 1 tank there just like it is. You should have another tank honestly like right there, so it covers the ramp forward a bit more, and this tank would still cover the forward tank. And then with this tank being there, you should have another tank like right there. That way this tank covers this tank, and this tank covers the other side of the ramp. And then you could fill in the 4th tank that you have right now. Yeah, because you have 4 tanks. You could have a 4th tank like over there or whatever the fuck you want. What was that? Mutas? Okay, this guy went Mutas. 2 base Roach Ravager into Mutas. Okay. Let's see how this happens to you. So like you're making a 3rd command center. I highly disagree with this barracks. This should have been a tech lab. So now he's got mutas in your base. This is not a scary amount of mutas. And all you got to do here is pull your SCVs, obviously. Send your bio back to help your boys. This is also why a depot wall will be really important here. Because imagine if all these depots, instead of being in your main base, were right here. And because you didn't need these supply depots as early as you made them. You needed to make them later on. Like, once you stabilized your natural, you were still making them here. Imagine if you made them here, and now if you pull your bio back to deal with the mutas, there's no chance lings and shit are gonna like swarm your tanks and kill your tanks. However, right now, if you do send all your bio back to deal with the mutas, and he also multi-prongs you with a shitload of lings, now you have no bio covering your tanks, and you can just freely walk into your base. So that's scary as fuck for you. But the proper reaction to this now would be make a turret, get rid of the mutas initially, call it a day. You should also, you don't have stim either because it's so late. Which is also why I was saying you should have had your second factor, or your second barrack should have had a tech lab on it for upgrades. Because you could have had stim pack by now, for sure. So your build is just falling further and further behind, I would say, a little bit. Again, not against your opponent, but against what you could be doing. The fact that you're so committed into barracks and a late third, all this shit, this is just delaying you hardcore. And then, too many turrets. Holy shit, too many turrets. Overreaction on the turrets for sure. One turret per mineral line is all you need here. And then the easiest thing you could do, here's all you gotta do. If you go, you know what? I'm not ready to be aggressive yet. Leave all your tanks at the front of your base. Do not unsiege all your tanks and be like, run back to the main. Leave your tanks sieged. Spread your bio out into 50-50. 50% stay here, 50% stay over here. No matter where his mutas go, 50% Marines, 50% Marines. You could even be like this. These Marines could be control group 1. These Marines could be control group 2. Or whatever. Don't just select all army either at this point. You don't even have to, but again, you don't even have to have it hotkeyed. You could just green box it. If you have like 8 Marines here or 12 Marines here, you just green box it and go attack move towards the mutas. Get them out of my base. The fact that you have your whole army over here and you're unsieged and shit, and then you're over-making turrets like crazy, this is like overly excessive on the turrets. Way too big of an investment. Now imagine if you had your bio split. Just like that. Look at that shit. This guy is like AFK. He just lost everything. But his mutas over here are still fine. This is exactly... Like, you splitting your Marines would have been fine. Him splitting his mutas is the worst idea in the world. This guy is not fucking J-Dong, as we can clearly see. He just threw away like 8 mutas. But if you have your bio split, the reason why that makes sense for you to split your bio right now is because Marines, if you don't micro them, and he doesn't micro his mutas, Marines are going to win there. Like, all you got to do is go stim pack, forget about it, and the Marines will just shred the shit out of the mutas. And you don't even have stim pack, and you still destroyed them right there. Before the turrets were up. You still haven't even started stim pack at 10 minutes. Way too many turrets. You're making another turret again. You're not mining from your natural either. This is like horrible macro. You're like oversaturating the main. You're freaking out too much to the meta. Yo, Forces X, thank you for the sub, dude. Welcome back for the 19-month resub. My man, my founder. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. This should be definitely the emphasis right now should be your economy. The mutas don't mean shit here. The mutas literally are irrelevant. Like, they're annoying. And every turn player is like, I fucking hate mutas. But realistically, if you just go 50%, 50%, spread your Marines out in your base in 2 clumps, you're safe against timings in the front of your base because you have a lot of Marines to cover your tanks still. You have a good tank spread, and you're so far ahead. You got to realize this too, okay? These are concepts you have to realize. What's happened so far up to this game was that your opponent went for Ling, Roach Ravager, and he lost an entire fucking army of Ling Roach Ravager. That's not something you just disregard and go, okay, it doesn't matter anymore. What that means is that if you had your tanks sieged in front of your natural, he can't break you even if only half of your bio is here. Because he is already behind in the ground situation. He also opened aggressively, so he's not great on economy either. So if you split your bio up 50-50 and he had a ground army mixed with mutas, you would still be fine, even though half your bio is like, oh, let's go back to the natural now because he's attacking there. You'd still be fine. Because there's a thinned out army that he would have. It would not be that scary. However, also, if he decides to attack you with just mutas only, and he goes pure muta, and he doesn't actually make ground units anymore, having the fact, again, that he committed into ground units first, has a bad economy, and then now he loses all the ground shit, now he switches full fucking throttle into a full 180 to mass mutas now. There's not enough mutas here to be like, there could be like 40 mutas right now, I could die. He could like one-shot turrets and just overpower my base. No, that's not physically possible. Because he's already made investments in this game that are bad. And the best way you can deal with mutas, when you're not predicting where they go all the time, is to just split your shit up 50-50. Easy peasy. Hi. Mila wants to play with toys. Ugh, fuck. My nose is starting to get all stuffy out of nowhere. You're not using control grips though, so I imagine you're doing select all army the whole time. This is also why I tell people not to go bio in lower leagues. Because bio requires way more effort out of the Terran. It really does. And I know that you probably are going to say, I didn't want to go bio, but you felt forced to go bio because you let 4 lings change your entire game plan. The first 4 lings you scouted. And then your Reaper is out of position, and now you've chosen to go bio instead of mech.
Command center upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
Alright. So, I would say, at this point, I would want you to lift off your 3rd and take your 3rd. That'd be great. You're definitely not ready to move out until you have Stim Pack. You still don't have it. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Do you fucking see how shitty this guy's ground army is? That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say he's already made a bad investment, and then he went into mutas as well. So if he were to attack you with a ground army, it would be the most shitty ground army that even if only half of your bio was sitting here, it is not threatening. And look at this ground army. It is 1 Roach, 1 Ravager, and 18 Zerglings. That is fucking terrible. That is an awful army for Zerg. That is nothing. Daddy don't got no army here. Look how crappy that army looks. If you had half the amount of bio there, you still would have lost nothing. Okay. I don't know if you ever get Stim. I don't think you do. It's actually too late at this point to get Stim until the replay's over. So that's a big mistake, not getting Stim the whole time for bio. But right now, this is what I would say. Because of how your opponent has shown he likes to play, he's definitely the I'm going to kill your economy kind of guy. This is the first time I would say make more turrets than 1 turret. And you know why? You could have easily defended everything the whole time with 1 turret per mineral line and leaving your bio spread across your base, like 2 clumps of it. But this is the first time you're deciding to move out. And although you don't have Stim, that's a horrible thing to do when you move out and you don't have Stim Pack. But I still would say I agree with it because this guy has thrown away so many armies repeatedly. So you know his position is pretty fucking bad. And on top of that, he just threw away another army again just now. So his power defensively is probably pretty low here. So I don't totally disagree with this move out. But now if you're going to move out and leave your base exposed, and this guy's all about muta harassing your base, now is the first time I would say I wouldn't mind it if you actually made like 3 turrets in this base again, instead of just the 1. Like add on more turrets. I wouldn't mind it then. Because now you're exposed, and now the only thing you have to defend your base is the new units popping out of your racks, which if he hits you like soon, Oh, if you only have like 6 Marines and he shows up with like 15 mutas, that could be scary at this point, because now we're talking like 12 minutes in the game. So if you had like 3 turrets and also like 6 Marines, suddenly it's not as scary anymore. So that's the first time I would say that would make sense because of how he's playing. Also, I'd love it if you... but also another thing you could do that I think would be even better than moving out right now would be spread your bio out now into 3 clumps. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Take your third base. Literally just take your third base and wait for stim pack. Get stim, mine a third base, and if your opponent continues to throw his army away repeatedly, you just get further and further and further ahead. This move out has a chance to throw the game though. It does. Like if this guy, let's just say hypothetically, this guy had like Banelings with Baneling speed, he could kill you. If he had Burrowed Banes somehow, he could totally kill you. If he has Baneling Muta, the fact that you don't have Stimpack makes his Banelings take way better trades than they should. That could kill you. Now he's coming back for another attack and you're making turrets again, and that's fine. You're making so many fucking turrets though. Holy shit, you're over making turrets. You have like 6 turrets in the main. That's a lot. It's a bit excessive. It's a bit excessive. Yeah, I would say 3 turrets in a Merlin is still a lot, but I would justify that. But this is so many fucking turrets. It's a bit too many.
Our SCVs are under attack.
See, like right now, if this guy wanted to, and he had, let's just say he has like 30 Banelings right here with speed, or like 20 Banes with speed, he could actually roll all your Marines over right now, and you could not kite it because you don't have Stimpack. And then he could fly his mutas. If his mutas were also coming back at this point, like he could kill all of your tanks and your Marauders and your 1 medevac. Like your army's very vulnerable right now. Or either that, or if he had Ling Bane, his Banelings can blow up all your Marines, and then suddenly Zerglings can easily kill tanks and Marauders by themselves. This is super sketchy what you're doing.
Our SCVs are under attack.
You guys are both trying to play multi-pronged games though, where you're both like overly aggressive to each other. You've both done that the whole time. You did that with your Reaper in the beginning, which fucked you over. He's doing it with his mutas right now, and look at him. He's got no defense.
Base is our SCV.
You guys are both playing way too in the aggressive side of things and not enough in like the defensive safety build-up side of things. But now you have won the game because 4 mutas aren't going to do shit, or 5 mutas. Yeah, he's super dead now. So yeah, I mean, hold on.
At ViBE while high vibe. I've been watching and learning from your Bronze to GM videos and wanted to say thank you. I was wondering after the very first drone, do you build Overlord then drone or drone then Lord? Thanks again.
Sure, Mr. Megabits. Thank you for the bits. I'll tell you in a sec. Thank you very much, man. Dingles, I would say this game, all you had to do is scout. He's being aggressive. Keep defensive on that Reaper, and then if you were gonna go mech, your whole game plan would have been fine. However, if you played bio, don't be afraid to split your bio up. Number 1, don't be afraid to split your bio up. Number 2, don't overreact to what is happening. And I'll tell you right now, if someone harasses you with mutas, if it's a harass, 1 turret per base is fine, especially if you're still defensive with your bio. That's more than enough. If you're going to move out and your opponent's going like mass mutas, like he just doesn't stop making mutas past like 10. He makes like 13, 18, 22, 25. He just keeps making mutas. I would be like, as soon as you want to move out, as soon as you go, you know what? I'm going to move out in 30 seconds. I wouldn't mind if you made a couple more turrets just before you moved out. And then as soon as they finish, which is like a 30-second build time, or it's even faster, sorry. It's 18-second build time. As soon as you're ready to move out, then you fucking go. Like, you build the turrets, just as they finish, you move out. If you're going bio. And you know your base is going to be exposed until your next round of bio pops out. And then the next round of bio that pops out of the barracks, you can leave them at your base. And they can, once again, reinforce your turrets if he flies into them with mutas and shit like that. Definitely, you need to expand faster. I can say right now, you could have literally never once attacked this Zerg. I'll say this. This is a fact. This is truly a fact. You could have never once attacked this Zerg, and you could have won the game faster. Like, you beat this guy at 14 minutes. And at 14 minutes, you finished the game with 100 supply. If you just, instead, focused on yourself and not on him, like, you only scout him initially to go, should I be defensive or aggressive with this Reaper? And if the answer is defensive, and you're like, yeah, no, he's not making drones. He's making units. That natural is so super late. He went pool first. He has gas. If that's what you scouted, which is what it is, what you scouted, if you go, I'm going to play defensive now, you could max out way faster than 14 minutes. And then you could literally just fucking A-move him before that. Like, before 14 minutes. So you could max out and then A-move his ass. And he would die before 14 minutes. He would die probably at like 11 and a half. Or something like that, like 12. And it's because and all you got to do, again, is just think about it logically, okay? If you're... This is something a lot of people don't understand as well. Mutas are expensive as fuck. And when you rush mutas, it's not like you can have more than enough. Like, okay, let me say it like this. This is going to make more sense. You do not ever want to attack Marines with mutas. Or turrets. If you ever go, you know what, I'm going to kill 3 Marines and I lose 2 mutas in the process, that fucking sucks. Like, if you, for instance, if you have like 10 mutas and you engage 20 Marines and you kill 3 of them with like 1 or 2 volleys of the mutas and then you run away and you lose 2 mutas in the process. And you're like, okay, I lost 2 mutas and I killed 3 Marines. That is a fucking terrible trade for mutas. That is awful. You never want to trade even like 2 to 1. The only way mutas are I could ever justify losing mutas to Marines would be like if I can kill 8 Marines, literally, like 6 to 8 Marines for every 1 muta death. Like, that is about how you'd want it to go. And if you just and again, like resource wise, you can make Marines way faster than a Zerg can make mutas. Mutas are 100-100, but the thing about it is, mutas even though mutas are only worth 200 resources and Marines are worth 50, and 4 Marines is the equivalent value of resources to a muta, gas is way more valuable than minerals. You do not want to be throwing your gas away to kill Marines. That sucks ass. That is awful. That is so not good. So his mutas, if you just make Marines and you just spread them, even if you have like 18 Marines, he has 12 mutas, and he loses 8 mutas, and you lose 14 of those 18 Marines, and you're like, fuck, I just got reset, but so did he, and then he flew away with the last couple mutas. That's fucking great for you. You're like, that was a win-win. That was so much more of a waste for Zerg than it was for me. Like, that was great, because you know what? Minerals can be mined at like 4 times or 5 times the pace of gas on average, especially for Terran who has mules. So you can replace those Marines like that, but you cannot replace gas units like Zerg like that unless you have a fucking high economy, and this guy proved to you he doesn't because of how aggressive he was throughout the whole game. So if you just sat there and just worried about like the depot wall, the tank placement, the siege timing with your Marines when you moved out, the Reaper defensively, just everything was based defensively. And then you max out and then you go, okay, let's attack. You would crush the shit out of a player that's like, attack. And he's like throwing shit away. And you're over here just like, you're like AFK almost, where you just go like, it's not about like microing, it's about logically thinking about how to deal with it. So instead of going like this, Marines attack, SCVs pull. Instead of dealing with mutas like that, literally just go like this. Green box, go there. Leave it. Mutas show up, Marines are going, and turrets are just shooting his ass. And then mutas go, okay, let's get out of here. Mutas come over this way at the exact same time because this guy's like trying to be J-Dong with double muta flocks. Marines are shooting his ass over here, and turrets are shooting him too. Then he's like, you know, then something happens like what happened earlier where he only micros one side. And then the other side just wipes out 8 mutas, and he's like, ah, shit. 8 of my mutas just died. That sucks. That's what you should be doing. It's just spreading your bio out and just waiting, and then eventually going for an attack. Making the game way too complicated for yourself because you're playing impatient. It's all about just making more and not producing your opponent. And a big part of that is expanding at the proper times. So like, it would have been all this game should have been for you is literally all the defensive shit I just said, but then like getting your natural saturated at an appropriate time, taking your third base and actually saturating your third base at an appropriate time, taking your third base at 14 minutes with no saturation on it. It like just landed at 14 minutes. That is terrible. That is so fucking late. You should have this third base down at the third at like 7 minutes. Like half of the game duration of what this was. Even if there's mutas. And why is that? Why does that work that way? Because if you just macroed properly and you just made Marines and you made your tanks and you spread your tanks out, if you just spread out your bio as well, it's bio, 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 no matter where the mutas go, they're going to get shut down. Because you don't need, if he's only got like 12 mutas, you do not need like 30 Marines to shut down like 12 mutas. You could shut down 12 mutas with 10 Marines. I'm dead serious. And the reason why that is because if he fights 10 fucking Marines with 12 mutas, and you also have like one turret, just one turret, he might kill all of your Marines. He might even focus fire the turret right away. If he focus fires the turret, you have the ability to repair it, and there's a good chance you won't even lose the turret, and he could lose every muta before he leaves, or he'll just realize, okay, this is bad, leave. If you don't repair the turret, I guarantee you would kill about 4 of those mutas before the turret died. And then it would be 10 Marines. If it was like 12 mutas versus 10 Marines, now it's suddenly like 8 mutas versus 10 Marines. And you would probably lose every one of your Marines in that fight, but he would lose probably 6 more mutas, or like 5 more mutas. So we'd have like 2 or 3 mutas left in that fight. And then at that point, all you would have to do is have like 2 or 3 mutas shooting your SCVs, and you could send over another squad from another base to go over and help it. It'd be like, hey, natural group, go help my third. And then keep making units and just replace what you just left at the third. Or at your natural. Just replace it with a new group from like a new production cycle. And then that would be a fucking terrible trade for the Zerg. The Zerg would be like, wow, I killed some of the bio here, and I just got zoned out by new bio. Shit. I only killed like maybe 5 SCVs there. Because only mutas basically died. So I'll make more mutas. And then suddenly, instead of having 30 Marines versus 12 mutas, if you're macroing like this, logically the way this would go, if your opponent's really aggressive and really all in and you're not, suddenly now it's 45 Marines versus 12 mutas. And you don't need all 45 to kill 12 mutas. Or to fuck the Zerg over. Now suddenly it's 1 turret and like 15 Marines at every base versus 12 mutas, wherever he chooses to go. And then now 15 Marines and a turret will actually shit on 12 mutas like crazy. At this point now, all the mutas will die. Maybe all your Marines die as well, but now it's not like there's a leftover of like 1 or 2 or 3 mutas, and now it's like all the mutas die for sure. And then if it gets to a point where now you have 60 Marines, and you have 20 per base, and you have 80 Marines, etc., 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 etc. Like, you will max so fast if you just focus on the macro aspect. But when you focus on, like, always moving your army around back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in one clump, you have these moments where you give your opponent advantages where they, like, poke your other base. And then they're doing wasteful as fuck shit as well, as you saw. I gotta show you this one part again. If you just spread your Marines out, we gotta go back to it. It's like 7 minutes is when it happened, or like 8 minutes. This is what will happen to Zerg players who try to multi-prong you. Okay, watch. Legit. This is what will happen. Let's see it. Let's see this shit. It happened later than I thought. So he's attacking your main. He was attacking your main at the same time. You have medevacs and tanks and marauders over here. You have a guy with mutas over here versus just Marines. Watch this. He tries to do a multi-prong attack. This is so fucking advanced. This is so advanced for Platinum League. Okay? Daddy is trying to play like he's fucking a pro gamer, and Daddy's not a pro gamer. So watch what happens if you just, again, you're not even microing these Marines. Are you even looking at these Marines, first of all? I want to see. Do you even look at them? You do. That's cool. Okay, you do. I don't think he does. Now he's over here popping a depot, and he's also trying to kill your economy and your mineral line. Now watch what happens when people try to overcommit to aggression repeatedly, and you just leave units in the right spot because you're guarding your economy. That is game ending for Zerg right there. And when I say it's game ending for Zerg right there, you don't have to look at that and go, you know what? Time to attack right now. You don't have to do that. You know what you could do? Feel safer to lift and land this right now. take an advantage in the economy aspect instead of having to go attack him. You could definitely do an economy advantage as well. Because that just reset a fuckload of mutas right there. It didn't do anything. It was awful for the Zerg. And now it makes it even easier for you to spread your bio out into 3 groups between main, natural, third and not get overpowered.
Base is under attack.
And again, the reason why I'm telling you to spread your bio out into 3 groups is because the only way around this to not have to spread your bio out into 3 groups is if you're at a skill level where you can predict what your opponent's going to do before they do it. And that is not platinum level. That is fucking like GM level. This is why I don't tell people to go bio in fucking platinum. And like silver and gold. When everyone's like, teach me a bio build. No. Fucking please no. I don't want to teach you a bio build because you're going to die. The game's going to be like twice as hard as it has to be. People crazy. But yeah. Hopefully that all makes sense. Dingles, I hope this helps. I actually think that you chose to go bio this game as a reaction to you freaking out early game because you thought you were going to die. And you didn't have to, none of that had to even happen. But Dingles, thank you very much, man, for buying or for doing an analysis. I appreciate you, dude. I hope it helps. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, if you guys liked it, go check out some more. I have many more coaching lesson, replay analysis, bronze to GM stuff, all teaching you how to play StarCraft if you're interested. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, take it easy. Good luck. Later, guys.